Meant to be a time of peace. So how do Muslims counter the message of the terrorists? Is Britain right to refuse to resettle new migrants? And Lord Dannatt on whether we still see ourselves as a world power. We'll see you at 10. Welcome to Sunday Morning Live. Good morning, I'm Sian Williams with the show that gets to the heart and soul of the week's big stories. On today's programme, as terrorists mar the holy month of Ramadan in the name of Islam, we look at what the faith means to people here and how they might counter an ideology of bloodshed. And as Armed Forces Week concludes, nearly half of us think the army can't defend us from global threats. Have we ceased to be a world power? And Tommy Sandhu's here sharing your thoughts with us. Morning, Tommy.
Morning, Sian. Yes.
You say about this week's topics. Let's meet our guest, first guest of the week, John Gaunt, whose website... A time for celebration, reflection and the coming together of friends and family. That's how Muslims across the world mark the holy month of Ramadan, not the terrorists. A few days ago, so-called Islamic State issued a message calling on its followers to rush and go and make Ramadan a month of calamities for the infidels. In a moment, we'll talk about the Islam that the extremists say they adhere to. First, though, to the Islam that the vast majority believe is one of peace and compassion. The BBC has been looking at the spiritual side of the month of fasting. Here's what Ramadan means to some British Muslims.
Yes.
One newspaper column.
Yes.
One newspaper column.
Yes.
One newspaper columnist said that a lot of these jihadists are sort of not even studying Islam for dummies, the way that they are using Islam. But John's point there, Slia and Ajmal, it is about ordinary Muslims. Mohammed Tahir al-Qadri, who's a Pakistani theologian, issued a fatwa against suicide bomb attacks, who's here in this country at the moment, asking British Muslims to hold a mass march for peace as a public demonstration. In order for people to have greater understanding of what Islam actually is, isn't that necessary?
I do get...
We're beginning Syria and Iraq, where there's been...
All right, it's a minority.
We're beginning Syria and Iraq, where there's been...
All right, it's a minority. Let Andrea... Hang on a sec. John, I want to hear Andrea's point.
And I'm pleased...
Let's look at what it says, Andrea. We'll pick up that point. What does it say in the Quran that legitimises this sort of action? Let's look at what it says, Andrea. We'll pick up that point. What does it say in the Quran that legitimises this sort of action?
Let's just answer that question. You've just shown the utter depth of ignorance that even remains within our civilized discourse.
But people felt sympathetic to that, right? John, I, as a non-Muslim...
How many was that?
The fact that on Sky News and in every news outlet country,
let's get back.
That bit is ridiculous.
Right, let's talk over one another. We are not going to get a debate here that works.
Correct, yes.
Let us talk about how much we know.
We live in a country which is predominantly Christian. The second religion is... Please, I don't need to understand this technical...
Ajmal first.
Here's the difficulty here. That's the reason why we need to know about more about one another, know about the faith, culture, the sensitivity, so we can create a more cohesive society and not divide.
Let Andrea answer that point.
Talked about his nephew. I'm going to talk about some of the women that have come to me at the Christian Legal Centre. Herself of the hijab, that would bring... We know that in this country there have been honour killings. We know that in the name of Islam,
in the name of
Islam, well, certainly the young lady, the young woman that came to me last year, believed that she was going to be killed
Who
if
said
she
that to
left.
her?
It's her parents, her community that were living in West London.
Can I just give you an example of how it is so deeply cultural? Nothing to do with Islam, by the way.
Let Andrea finish her point.
The point of
Can I just ask this question?
Yes,
Have you read the Quran?
I've read some of the Quran, and I've sat under Mint Brunei.
You've attributed things to Quran that doesn't exist. So please, let's get our facts right. If you haven't read the Quran...
Andrea's point is she has spoken to people who have read the Quran.
Here is and came out and said, no, enough is enough. Each other, don't covet another man's wife and all that stuff.
It's a liar.
Let me finish. Let me just
not the
finish.
same thing.
But we need people. We need ordinary people, regardless of their religion, to who are prats.
Is the point that Ajmal made earlier. Ajmal, I want to bring in a quote from David Cameron a while ago condemning the Muslim community, if there is a Muslim community, for mass uprising of people to say this is a grotesque parody of what Islam is, and we all come together.
Guess what? Punish the entire community by that. And number three, we have a problem in the world today.
Of inequality. It says a woman's word is
inequality.
Yes, it says a woman's word is worth half that of a man.
Andrea has come with a clear dislike.
Hang on, Andrea, hang on.
I would like to offer something.
This is a different debate. Just wait, because we're running out of time on this one. This is a different debate, and we should do it about how comfortably Islam sits in a secular society when Islam is looking at Allah for the rule of law. And okay, we've got to leave it there. But this will be a discussion for another day. I absolutely promise you. Thank you very much. If you want to learn more, Ramadan in a Day is going to be on BBC Online on Thursday, the 2nd of July. Thank you. Now, first, European leaders tried to address the migrant crisis this week, and they agreed to accept some of the people who are displaced by war, fleeing terror, or risking their lives to cross the Mediterranean for a better life. European Union countries agreed to take 40,000 refugees. Britain opted out of the deal altogether. But as every day passes, more than 100 migrants arrive in Calais with their eyes on the UK. So, should we welcome them, or should we keep the doors closed? We're going to discuss the issue shortly. First, let's hear the story of a Sudanese refugee called Al-Hussein Ahmad. He took the route across the Mediterranean to Calais and on to Britain just a few years ago.